you have any advice for me? It's my first century tomorrow.
I'm Thomas Dekker and I'm from the Netherlands and I live in Amsterdam.
Hello, Mr. Ashton Lambie. How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm good. I just heard that you're the fastest man in the world. Have you ever ridden a century?
No, this is also my very first time riding a century.
Hi, I'm Marley Blonsky, and we're in Emporia, Kansas at the Granada Theater. This weekend is Unbound, and I'm going to try and ride my first century. It's really interesting because I've never considered myself a cyclist until the last year. I didn't have a kit. And so I've always felt like an outsider, but since kind of having people learn about All Bodies on Bikes and the work that we're doing, there's a whole group of outsiders who said, hey Marley, I had the same experience. And so it's a little, it's very validating to know that I'm not alone out there and kind of being an outsider. And I think we're making space for a bigger community. So the theater that we're in right now is going to be kind of the big celebration spot on Sunday morning when people come in and they get to celebrate their achievements. And I have chills thinking about what it's going to feel like to finish and accomplish this goal with everybody else who also has these goals.
That's what we were hoping for.
Oh, here we go.
Rolling. All right, Bill.
Here we are, the 100-mile riders.
The ride is technically unsupported. Everybody has to have their support crew, and you get your refill at the midway point. I think the century, for a lot of people, is this hallmark achievement of cycling. People are always talking about, and it's the first thing when you tell somebody that you ride bikes, oh, have you ever done a century? So it does feel like by not having done it, I feel like an imposter. Even though this is my job, I've been riding bikes for years, it feels like I'm, missing that check mark of cycling accomplishments, first flat, first crash, first century. So we'll check that box this weekend.
Rush hour, Emporia?
More at mile 2. We're going 5 miles an hour because I don't know why. We'll find out. So I'm doing my first 100-mile.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for me?
Don't go out too hard.
What are you most nervous for?
Well, the weather tomorrow.
We're getting our first big, fat raindrops. You guys ready for the rain? Ready or not, here it comes.
In my prep for this 100-mile ride, I asked on Instagram about people's first century, and if they had any advice for me. And I was blown away by how encouraging everybody was. Nobody doubted my ability to do it, and actually gave some really good advice.
Do you have any advice for me? My first one is tomorrow.
You're going to do the 100 miles tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's really simple. You have to keep on pedaling. You have to smile. You have to eat and drink. And then you're going to be at the finish.
That's not supposed to look like that. Fuck.
So, why gravel? Sure, yeah, gravel's the hardest surface, or technically, from the terrain and the mud and the elements. But gravel is more than just the actual road that you're riding on. It's the community. It's all the people that are coming out to support. It's the strength that you find going down these rural roads, and having somebody pass you by and say, oh, you're doing a great job, even if they're going 10 miles an hour faster than you.
We are watching cool people do cool things. Gravel's a lifestyle. It's a sport too, but it's all about what's in your heart.
It's interesting to think about because, some people's goals are to win. Some people just want to get out there and ride their bike. They want to finish, they're overcoming injury. But at the end of the day, we all have our sights set on crossing that finish line, whether that's a 25-mile ride or the 350. And so just kind of sharing that camaraderie and realizing that everybody out there is doing their best.
It's too close that time. I don't want to stop.
Okay?
Yeah, Marley, you do you. You got this. How you feeling?
You have to average 10 miles an hour to not get pulled. And so anytime I'm stopped, that's not helping me get close to that cutoff time.
I think we're gonna make it. Oh, actually it's 1:29 right now. Holy shit. I will be so sad if I don't make it across this tiny tip. Oh God, I didn't even realize that. Oh. I think I made it in time. Oh, I'm like so relieved now I made it in time. I was stressing so hard about that. Is there cell service in this town? I made it to not the end. I'm at mile 63.9. I'm like almost there, but I'm just happy because I made it to time cutoff. So now I'm eating and drinking. Thank you for your support. I'll see you at the finish line. Do I go that way?
Yeah. Okay. First and foremost, take care of you.
Bye.
And then second, take care of your bike, of your equipment, because a bad equipment choice or pushing through the mud, if it happens to be muddy or something like that, could mean a lot of time off the bike walking.
Oh my God. I'm so grateful. I don't have to worry about time anymore. This is so silly. I hope you can see the people behind me. Every step is a good one. Nice work. Is that Amanda? Hi! Hannah! Oh my God! You're killing it! Feeling good. Feeling ready to be done. But still happy and proud, and I really didn't think I was gonna be able to do it. Like, when we were doing that interview on that stage, I was like, it's gonna feel like shit to be celebrating. But I think I'm actually doing it. Oh my gosh. So that's what's been keeping me going through this training and through the packing, is like visualizing coming across the finish line, just to people cheering and kind of that big sense of accomplishment.
By the way, Marley Blonsky first ever century run finish. Century athlete.
Yes, it's painful, and yes, you know, you might have something go wrong in the moment, but at the end of the day, like, you have done that accomplishment, and you have that sense of pride for yourself.
She crushed it!
I do feel like I'm inspiring other people, and I only know that because I hear from them all the time on Instagram or email or Twitter. You know, lots of people who never saw themselves represented on a bicycle as a like short, fat woman with tattoos. I don't look like your typical cyclist or your typical athlete. I don't know, I think people will just be really proud of me and maybe think of endurance cycling as something that they could also do.